Hey guys, in this episode, we're going to go behind the scenes of the first ever AdventistHoops All-American Weekend with two high school players who participated. But before we get into that, I want to tell you about Advent Sports' involvement in the All-American Weekend. You'll hear these two athletes in this episode talk about the Advent Sports Seminar. Founder Caleb Allen came out to California and broke down the Advent Sports training plan that helps give you an intentional plan of attack to get better. And this seminar was just one example of the things that you'd experience at their college prep camps, where athletes get hands-on training and mentorship from current college coaches. Go to advent-sports.com to request an Advent Sports college prep camp at your school. They also have skills academies aimed at teaching the fundamentals of your sport and the skills necessary to play at a high level. Advent Sports strives to help players develop their game, prepare for the next level, and open doors to new opportunities. Visit advent-sports.com today. And now, onto this inside peek into an historic Adventist All-Star Weekend that took place July 31 through August 2 in Southern California. Hey everybody, welcome to the Adventist Hoops podcast. Today, a couple of really special guests here. We have two recent participants from the very first Adventist Hoops All-American Weekend in Loma Linda, California. We have Dane Petersen, who just recently graduated from Portland Adventist Academy. Dane, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
And we have Addy Dodds from Mile High Academy. Addy, you're going to be a junior this next year, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, appreciate you guys coming on here. This is still fresh. It's only like a week since we all left Southern California, and the whirlwind event that happened. I don't know about you guys, but I've sort of just been processing it over the past week, and it was a pretty incredible thing. I'm just curious, Dane, right off the bat, before we get into details, what was your overall just experience at the All-American Weekend?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. It's not different than anything like tournaments I've gone to or anything, but it was a lot of fun just being able to meet a lot of people and just play basketball for a good solid 2 days.
Nice. Addy, what about you? What was your general takeaway or just, experience at the weekend?
I really enjoyed everybody I met there, all the friends I made, playing basketball with some very high elite athletes, and listening to some people doing the seminars, and that was really, really cool.
So, a lot of people watched the actual All-Star game on Saturday night, but I don't think many people understood the full weekend experience that you guys got. So if it's okay with you, let's kind of go through the weekend and kind of recap it, and you guys can chime in with, things that you remember as we go through. Addy, why don't you tell us a little bit about the initial check-in and what you guys did on that Thursday, July 31, when you got in. And by the way, we stayed at La Sierra because there's not a lot of options for dorms and stuff in Loma Linda, so we were at La Sierra University. What was your initial impressions, and what did we do that afternoon?
Well, I first got there, and they assigned me the dorm, and we went and looked at the dorm, put all the stuff away. The dorm was beautiful, very clean. It wasn't dirty or anything like that. And then we went to
shout out Anglin Hall.
Yes, we went to go get my jersey, and take media pictures, and also did a quick interview with an occupational therapist, which was pretty cool. And he gave me some good perspective on some things. And media day was so fun. A bunch of the vibes were cool. There was music in the background while you took pictures, and people who took pictures were really nice. It was so fun. Great experience.
We had a great media team. Shout out Jason Meredith, Jared Gonzalez, Kwame Roberts. They did an awesome job with that media day. Dane, did you get a chance to talk to that performance coach on that Thursday? What was your experience there? By the way, it was an occupational therapist, and he's also getting a certificate from USC in performance coaching, looking at like all the different ways that you can optimize your life to meet whatever your goals are, in this case basketball, or maybe just in life. What was your experience with him, Dane?
So I actually got there at a point where there's two other people waiting, so I got to go to him with two other people, so there's three of us in the room, and it was really cool because he took us through this whole checklist of what we want to do to get better ourselves. So it was really cool also just to hear to other people's like experiences and how they're feeling about it about themselves as well.
Yeah. By the way, we stayed all weekend at La Sierra University. What was your guys? Had you guys ever been to La Sierra before? What
Never.
was your impressions of the campus?
The campus was beautiful. It had an amazing view of all of the mountains and the water fountain there that was really cool with the statue in the middle. And yeah, I mean, it was nice spread out campus as well.
Yeah, no, I also really liked the campus. It felt very clean and everything, like Addy said before, and it just was a good place to hang out with people. And yeah.
Yeah. It seems safe too because they have the fenced wall all the way around with security at the gate. It's just it feels like a really nice like just oasis of beautiful landscaping and just really nice people and buildings and everything. How about that Zapara School of Business building that we were in for the check-in and for some of the meals?
Yeah, that was beautiful. I don't know when it was built, but it looks really nice in there.
It was like the last 10 years, somebody told me. So we did media day. You guys got checked into the dorms. Boys were up in Sierra Towers. If anybody's familiar with La Sierra, we were up in the men's dorm there. And then we had a taco bar, whatever, which really, really great food, sponsored by La Sierra, which was awesome. What did you guys take away from the opening program? I know that was a long time ago at this point, but was there anything that stuck out to you? We kind of had a program just to kind of welcome everybody and kind of set the stage for the weekend.
I was very impressed with it. I mean, the pictures walking in, welcoming everybody was really cool. And then when you welcomed everybody, and yeah, it was very impressive for sure.
The Zapara School of Business has a really uniquely dimensioned screen that's very long and kind of wide, not very tall, and we had all the players' photos on there, and it said welcome Dane Petersen. I don't remember exactly what all we put on there, but your picture was big when you arrived on that screen, and then we had sort of just an opening program to introduce certain people, talked a little bit about the history of Adventist basketball, and why you guys being here was like really special, but it also wouldn't have happened without all these people that had come before you and before me to get Adventist sports approved in our different Adventist academies. So and then we had a couple of different speakers, and anyway, so yeah, it was a good first day, short. And anything else from Thursday you want to mention? So on Friday, tell us what happened on Friday, Dane.
At least in the morning, we all went down to the Cafe La Sierra, had breakfast. That was good. And then we went
to the food, by the way, since we're on the food. Sorry to interrupt.
You're good. The food was actually really good over the course of the days. We had the dinner at the School of Business was really good, and then all the caf food was good too.
What about you, Addy? Cafeteria breakfast at La Sierra?
Yeah, the cafeteria breakfast was great. We had like pancakes and the compote on top of it. It was great.
Keep going, Dane. Sorry.
You're good. So then after breakfast, we went over to Loma Linda together in the vans and the bus. And we started off with a sports psychology seminar, which I found to be very interesting. They talked about how different things affect you before you even get on the court. And while you're on the court too, some practical ways that you can get help from little things like breathing and whatnot. And then after that,
sorry, you're just on a roll, and I keep interrupting you. Do you guys happen to remember any of those strategies that you felt were particularly impactful that you heard from the sports psychologists?
For me, at least, they taught us like a physical anchor. So like it could be like tugging on your jersey, like fixing your jersey or something, or touching your shoelaces. And I found like I always like to grab my jersey right around here, and that really helped me like anchor myself and like reset after plays.
So that almost like explained something that you did subconsciously, and now you were like, okay, there's a purpose to it, I guess, that I was doing it and I didn't even realize. Nice. Yeah. And Dane, you're a baller, but you're also a golfer, and you, I'm sure, battle, as all golfers do, the mental side of that game. So hopefully it can help you across sports.
Yeah, definitely. And then after that seminar, we went and had a 2-ish hour session with all the college coaches where they like set up these different drills, at least for us. I don't know how it was for the girls, but there was these 6 hoops and each coach kind of had their own hoop and they had their own drill they were doing, and you went out with a group, and it was a lot of work. It was tiring, but it was good. Learned a lot from that. And then we had lunch at Loma Linda. And then after lunch, yeah.
What did you guys think of working with the college coaches? I mean, what was that like?
It was so cool. I thought it was a great experience for them to I don't know, they coached us in the way that I have never been coached before, like some new strategies I've never heard before, some new drills that I've never done before. So that was pretty cool to be a part of that too.
Was there something specific that you guys learned, whether it was a skill or, like you said, maybe a strategic thing from the coaches?
It wasn't so much like skills that I didn't know how to do or anything, but it was more like being quicker, being sharper with them, and like being able to execute them faster.
Yeah, I think it was the little things for sure. They emphasized the little things a lot more.
Mm. Was there any part of that Friday, because we went all day on Friday with basketball activities? That was at Loma Academy, by the way. Was there any aspect of it that was like particularly challenging, like, or did you struggle? Not struggle, but like, was there any challenge throughout that day?
I think it was a different way of running the drills, more not like the challenges and skill wise, but more of like pressure of doing it right, and because everybody else around you is still really good, so being up to that level like all the time.
Did you guys feel nervous?
Yeah, for sure.
Dane's nodding his head too. Yeah. Why were you nervous?
Different because like part of you's kind of trying to get recruited, I guess you could say, to like go play at these places, but also they're like a higher level of coaching knowledge, and so it's like, oh no, if I mess up they could be like, oh, this kid's not as good, but that's not how they look at it, of course. But it's just kind of weird to be watched in that way.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of an interesting dynamic it was sort of a camp, but it was also like these coaches are like, college coaches that I could end up playing for, someday. So it was maybe a little extra pressure. Hopefully it wasn't too much, but anyway, so interesting. One other question I wanted to ask just from Friday, Dane, to continue where you were going, we had lunch and then we had another couple seminars. I want to jump ahead to scrimmaging on Friday afternoon because the girls and the guys both scrimmaged. But I feel like you guys really gelled with your teammates really quickly for some reason. You didn't have a lot of time together, but Addy, I don't know if you noticed that same thing, but it seemed like you guys got really close really quickly, and that actually seemed to help on the court too.
For my team in particular, I feel like we all got along together. We kind of had like our own jokes and, little pump up stuff. And I don't know. Yeah, it was really cool.
Nice.
See, it was a little bit of like, oh, we got to beat the other team now. So like our competitive aspect of like all of us kind of kicked in and we were like, oh, let's do this.
Here's another thing that I wasn't surprised at, but I was just pleasantly, I was happy to see that whenever you bring together really good players, sometimes there's egos, sometimes there's like people trying to be the alpha or whatever. And there might have been like, just a little bit of like, I want to beat you because you guys are all competitive, but there wasn't any jerks. It didn't seem like, there wasn't anybody that was just like, wasn't kind to everyone else, like everyone was pretty grounded and just not too cool to work hard. And everybody got after it. There was no like showboating or silliness or anything like that. Like you guys were playing hard, and especially when you talk about that scrimmage on Friday, like you guys were playing really hard. I was going back and forth between both gyms, and the boys in particular were just that was a fun game to watch, and no one really got to see it, but it was a competitive game. So, what was it like actually playing in a game, talking about the scrimmage, with a college coach? And especially since you guys had a practice beforehand, let's actually back up and what was it like having a practice with a college coach? Yeah, he's deferring to Dane here.
So it was weird because what we like weird in the sense of like it's a new thing that I haven't done before because they were like talking to us about stuff we want to do like as a team, and it was like you either had to pick it up quickly or the coach was going to be like, hey, you got to pick this up. So it was really fast paced and really new to me, at least.
What about you,
Yeah.
Abby? How did the coaches set you guys up for success with such a short amount of time together and only one practice?
Well, I think I loved Coach Kai. She was my coach from Andrews University, and she it's very different when a college coach is talking to you because it's almost like you're expected to know like little things that sometimes in high school they have to explain a little bit more, and so they'll tell you one thing and it's just like you should know that, and it's like, oh, I do know that, but they're not explaining it to me, which is different. So I don't know, I thought it was very cool because we got a lot more done in a little bit amount of time just because everybody knew what to do.
Mm-hmm. What about the seminar? I don't know. There was a seminar on Friday from Advent Sports. Caleb Allen, he talked about creating a training plan. Was there anything that stuck out to you from that seminar?
At least to me, it was like you should be training 6 days a week. It's not like 5 days or 4 days and you go every other day or something, but it should be 6 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought of building a superpower. He talked about like on weekdays and then like building something that you're not good at and then building something that you're really good at and working really hard on it. And I thought it was genius. I've never heard that before. And it's really cool to keep on top of it and have a schedule like that.
Now, the other portion of the afternoon, while your food was settling, we had another session with the sports psychologist. I assume you're kind of wrapping in what some of your comments from earlier from that afternoon session. But the other thing that we did was had an on-court sort of workshop from some of the college coaches. I don't know if you guys remember any specific things that those coaches talked about, if you want to share. And the idea behind these was a lot of freshmen come into college from high school not really maybe understanding certain things that these coaches see all the time. And so this was kind of their chance to kind of prepare these players, our All-Americans, for when they are freshmen in college so that they maybe have a better idea for some of these higher college level concepts.
That was something that I for sure took into thought and thought about it and made sure that like during the rest of the weekend I tried to practice and play like that and kind of integrate some of those things, and because they went over a lot of how you play, how you carry yourself, your attitude, stuff like that. So it was a good reminder of how you should act as a player.
Mm.
The biggest thing that I took away from was that when your coach is like on the court with the team, that's for the team. It's not for those individual skills that you need to build up by yourself. Meaning that you need to be in the gym outside of practice time, working on your own skills.
Mm. Yeah, a lot, and I think a lot of our Adventist Academies players just kind of show up for the season and they're like, okay, we're going to work on our skills now. Well, it's really kind of too late at that point because you got to work on your strategy as a team. So, yeah, definitely. That's a good point. Anything else from Friday? We heard from Pastor Jonathan Henderson. We had worships every morning and evening. We heard from La Sierra's chaplain on Thursday night, Jason DeSena. We heard from my friend and former teammate, Darren Thurber, on Friday morning for a quick devotional, and then Pastor Jonathan Henderson on Friday night. Anything else that stuck out from Friday there at Loma Linda Academy? Real quick break from this conversation, guys. You've heard us talking a little bit about La Sierra University in this episode, and I can tell you this All-American weekend would not have come off as well as it did without the generous support of La Sierra University. And in fact, this episode of the Adventist Hoops podcast is brought to you by La Sierra University, where community meets opportunity. At La Sierra, you'll experience vibrant campus life, meaningful friendships, and limitless possibilities. Dedicated to faith, service, and community engagement, La Sierra provides an environment where students thrive spiritually and academically. As one of the top-ranked universities located in sunny Southern California, students choose La Sierra University to create their future. Offering over 60 degrees and programs, La Sierra combines academic excellence with a commitment to personal growth. And if you're a hooper or an athlete in general, the home of the Golden Eagles also champions athletics, teamwork, and leadership both on and off the court. Elevate your game and your future. Visit lasierra.edu and join the Golden Eagles today. And now, back to this conversation with Dane and Addy.
Let's go to Sabbath. We had Sabbath school at La Sierra in the Zapara School of Business, again put on by Jason DeSena, which was awesome. And then we went to Loma Linda University Church and had worship at a service of theirs called Anthem. After that, we had lunch at someone's house. And I think everybody had a great time throughout the whole morning, afternoon. It was kind of just a great chance to be able to, it was busy Thursday and Friday. So Sabbath, it was nice to just relax and kind of hang out a little more informally. What was your guys' favorite part about getting to know some of these kids from around the country?
For me, well, at least on Saturday, when we went back to the La Sierra dorms after being at the house and hanging out for a while, it was a lot of fun because we kind of hung out in the dorms a little bit. Nobody really wanted to sleep, I guess you could say, but we didn't want to go do a lot. So we decided to hang out in the dorms, and there was 6 or 7 of us in that main lobby area, and we were just talking. We talked for those whole 2.5 hours that we had, and it was just we were just having fun, laughing, doing all that stuff.
Yeah, I totally agree with Dane in that aspect. Bunch of girls came to our room and we all talked and shared our experiences and stuff like that, got to know each other, and I think that was definitely one of my favorite parts of making new friends and seeing new people and having conversations with a whole bunch of other people.
One other question I just thought of going back to Friday and in general, just, Saturday night too, but you referenced it earlier. I mean, these players, one thing I felt really good about as the organizer was that everyone that was there was a good basketball player, and it's a difficult prospect to try to remotely, without seeing all these players, in person, make good selections to, ensure that the best players are there. And I don't think there was really anybody that came that we were probably shouldn't have had them come. I think everyone there was a solid player, has the potential to play at the next level. And I guess my question is, how fun was it? You're used to playing on your school teams, and everyone has great players on their teams back at home. But what was it like being able to play with players that were at your level, and you felt like everyone was super competitive?
I think for me, playing with people who are very competitive at a high level, it just kind of brought everybody's energy up. There was nobody there who didn't want to be there. There was nobody there who didn't have any, I don't know if we're going to win this or not. Everybody was competitive. Everybody had fun. And I think that was probably the best aspect of that.
Yeah, like she mentioned, it was just super competitive, which, not saying it's not competitive back home, but this just felt like a totally different level because everybody wanted to win that game.
And everybody's a pretty good athlete, and also everybody is, the average height of everybody is a little bit taller, compared to probably a lot of our academy teams. So it was, it was just really fun to watch you guys. I also, was a little concerned how are they going to mesh on Friday to lead us to the best possible basketball product on Saturday night, right? Like these all-star games, I don't know if you've played in any before that where you just like show up and you play the game. It's kind of a pickup game. Those, to me, it's not always the best basketball, but because you guys had a full day together, and I'm also curious, do you feel that having all of those other good players around you made it easier to be in this kind of a tough situation where you show up and you're trying to play without having any experience with these players?
It definitely, I guess, felt easier because the whole level of basketball was just higher. So it wasn't as much of like you're trying to figure out who's good at what and stuff like that, but everybody is just that much better.
Yeah, I think it definitely made it easier knowing that everybody is there for the same reason and going through the same, maybe what you're thinking while you're playing. Like they're all thinking the same thing. They've never done something, or like an Adventist Hoops All-American, they've never done something that big before, you know.
I think it just takes the pressure off too, because every person is like the main player on their team, but coming to this thing, like you don't feel like you have to force it. You know, you can make good passes. The ball's going to come back around to you because everyone else is also unselfish and, you know, is a good basketball player. So I was really impressed with how you guys did. And I think also impressed with the coaches and how they set you up for success. Talk a little bit about the Friday practice and what they installed. Addy, why don't we start with you? What Coach Kaya, talked about for what you would be running offensively in the game, because you guys looked great. I mean, it looked like you guys had been playing together for quite a while.
Well, she definitely started us out, spread 5 out, and just running the normal offense that everybody does. But then she integrated a couple plays. Like we had a play called Hammer. It was like a couple screens coming around. We ran that a couple times, but just having a base to work with, I think, was very important. And then after that, you just go and play basketball.
What about you, Dane? How was your practice, and how did you feel? At the moment, I can't remember which team, which coach you were with. Were you with Coach Drew or with Coach Jerry? Oh, the audio didn't come through there. What did he say, Addy? I can't tell from.
I think Jerry. I think he said Jerry.
He was with Coach Jerry McFarland with Washington Adventist University. Let's try it again, Dane. What was it like with Coach Jerry? How did he set you guys up for the game Saturday night?
We also did a very similar thing. We did a 5-out motion, but what he more was looking for is you got to make the right read. So we had 10 people in our practice, so we were kind of doing offense and defense and a little bit of live action, like playing. And so it was really good. He'd like stop the play and be like, why didn't you do that? Or like, did you see this? And stuff like that. So it really was like, he was holding us to a high level and not just letting us goof off and try to be showy in highlights and stuff like that.
Coach McFarland demands attention and respect when he steps in the gym, for sure. And he was amazing. All of our coaches were amazing. If you guys humor me for a second here, I just want to highlight all of our coaches that came out. All 8 of our Adventist colleges that have basketball programs sent coaches out to this thing. And all of them were super impactful, like you were talking about earlier, at the different stations, in the Friday, clinic that we had, or whether it was in the practices or in the game. Like everybody was super engaged. All those coaches were really into it, and frankly, I think they had a really good time hanging out with each other. That they don't normally get to hang out all together. So I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, let's move. This segues, what you guys were practicing on Friday and the offense and everything to Saturday night. We had another worship talk from Pastor Jonathan Henderson, and then we took some group photos, and then you guys started warming up, the doors open, and people started coming in. Addy, you were up first in that girls game. What was going through your mind?
It was a little nerve-wracking seeing how many people were there and knowing how many people were watching, but I think it was so exciting to me. Like, honestly, it was nerve-wracking, but seeing everybody there was also exciting to know that how much support we have. And yeah, and then the introductions when you walked out with the smoke and everything, that was super cool. And yeah.
Gotta apologize, Dane. The smoke, we ran out of the juice. It wasn't full. I'm gonna blame myself on that one, and just didn't. I went up there during the introductions for the boys, and there was no smoke machine there, and I was like, "What is going on?" And we weren't able to get it working, or we weren't able to make it happen for the boys. But yes, for the girls, it was pretty cool. We figured out some things to do different next time for sure. But okay, so we had the starting lineups. Or not the starting lineups, but the whole team was introduced, the whole All-American team, and you guys kind of you jumped out to a quick lead from the jump, and kind of controlled the whole game. I mean, what did you attribute that to?
Well, you know what? That's kind of the same thing that happened in the scrimmage. So we were all trying to be like, hey, we still have to play hard and, get a good lead and stuff like that. But I think it was a part of our team and how good we meshed together, and yeah. And we always tried to. We talked about it. We're like, let's give the fans like something to like watch, and we wanted to try to get a couple clips and stuff like that. So yeah.
Well, I have not been able to see all that our media team has been capturing from the actual game, but I know they got a lot of good stuff. So those highlights will be coming out, I'm sure. Did you guys get a chance to watch the broadcast back at any point? What did you think of the broadcast? It was we were trying to take people inside the huddle at times. We were had a remote camera that was on the court during free throws and stuff. What did you think?
I mean, I rewatched it, and I kind of just wanted to watch the game and see what was from like a different perspective, not like being in the game. But it was a lot of fun to watch. It's definitely much different not being in the game, seeing it's like, oh, I could have done that or could have done that. But it was a fun broadcast to watch.
Yeah. So Addy, you guys ended up winning that game going away, and you guys all played really well. Then we transitioned to a 3-point contest. I don't remember how you did, but how did you do? How was the 3-point contest experience?
The 3-point contest experience was amazing. Me personally, I think I could have done way better. But I had an injured wrist at the time, and it was messing up my shot and everything. But
okay, so I actually heard inside sources were telling me that you actually had like a wrist injury of some kind coming into the weekend that I didn't know about until after the weekend. But you had told your parents, "I'm not getting it checked out until after the AdventistHoops All-American Weekend." So why was that?
Well, I did not want to miss this experience, because the problem is that when I knew when I went to the doctor, they would told me that I shouldn't play, and I was like, that's not happening. So I don't know, it was playable, it was tough.
Was it your shooting wrist?
It was my left hand, so it was good. It wasn't my shooting wrist, but it messed up the guide hand, it messed up my shot, it messed up every time it went to my left hand, I lost it in a way. It was
So you were favoring it a little bit throughout the weekend.
Just a little bit. It was it's sad, but
even still though, I mean, you were diving on the floor for loose balls, you were all over the place, so you weren't letting that really affect your intensity, so that was cool to see.
Yes, I tried. If I couldn't shoot well, then might as well get some rebounds or something.
There you go.
Yeah.
So Dane, you're watching the girls game. How are you feeling while you're watching? How are the nerves?
Oh, it was very nervous. Seeing all those people as well, and just standing there and be like, I can't do anything about these nerves. I kind of just have to wait. But
were you able to put any of the sports psychology strategies into use?
Oh, definitely some of the breathing techniques and some of the other stuff. But it was a lot of fun, because then for I think the first half, we kind of were all just sitting together, both teams. But then after that first half, we all went and went to our coaches and had a little team meeting before. And that's when it really we really were okay, let's do this. Let's be competitive. We're not
going to be friends for the next couple hours. Yeah.
Oh, no. And then we all were kind of stretching, watching the game, and we all were pumped to play and just getting very excited in that. And so, yeah. So
you guys are introduced. What much to my chagrin, we didn't have the smoke as we mentioned earlier for the boys. But what was it like to hear your name called out in that gym?
Oh, it's really cool, especially walking out. You can't really see anything because of that light, but you know the people are there, and you know you have probably some family there, and it's just very cool to know that everybody's there for all of us combined, and that this actually happened.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's really what it is. I mean, there was I don't even remember how many people watched it live on Saturday night. I think it was like 3,500 or something like that. And then now it's up. I haven't checked recently, but I think it's up to almost 5,000. But like that's what it was. People were just so proud of all of you guys. It was a proud moment for Adventist basketball, and they were just so happy that you guys got to compete and participate in this event. So Dane, you guys are warming up. You start the game, and how did the game go for you?
Oh, it was very fast paced, a lot different than back home, but it was a lot of fun. Like I got in a little bit later into the second half, and then after I was in for a few minutes, I finally kind of settled down, and I feel like a bunch of other players did that too. I was talking to some guys, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it took me a few minutes to get settled in."
Although you guys, I mean, one other thing that I knew was a reality, and by the way, you said second half. You did play in the first half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I meant.
I was worried, not worried, but just like it's likely that, there's nerves and it might look a little rough for the first, few minutes of the game until those nerves settle in. But you guys, both teams were just hitting from the very beginning.
Oh, yeah. It was very competitive, like we've said a lot. It was very back and forth.
It was actually very similar to the scrimmage. I think White went up first, not by that many, but a hand 3 or 4 points. They were at 5 maybe, and then Black made a comeback and took the lead, and then White kind of surged ahead in the scrimmage, and then we had to cut it off on Friday, and that's kind of similar to what happened on Saturday night.
Oh, it was almost the same thing that happened Saturday night.
And then once we got to that point, though, Team White, your team, kind of pushed ahead. I don't remember. Was there a run that you guys went on to kind of really create that separation, or was it kind of a slow, methodical, just kind of chipping away, not chipping away, but extending the lead?
It was a little bit of both. We'd have a 5-point run or an 8-point run, and then Black would bring it back with a 6-point run, but we'd always just keep going, and we wouldn't ever give up. So we just kept pushing, even though maybe Black got a steal or 2 steals or a few stops, so we just kept going.
Well, I remember on the broadcast talking to Matt Jacobson's my broadcast partner, and we were, by the way, I didn't mention this, but for both games we were playing college length games. So the girls it was 4 10-minute quarters, and for the boys it was 2 20-minute halves. And I remember I don't actually remember at what point in the game, but I was just doing the math. You guys are going to hit 100. We're on pace to hit 100 points in this game, and not to spoil the ending here, but you guys did pull away and then ended up winning, and you scored 110 points, which is really great. Again, you don't know if the shots are going to be falling or not, but you guys certainly. And again, I think the coaches really set you guys up for success in the spacing. The movement was really good. I don't remember. Black got a little stagnant a few times, but overall, both teams were just really, I felt flowing really well on offense, so it was good to see. So after the game, what were you thinking, Dane? You I don't know if did you know how many points you had?
I didn't know exactly how many points I had, but I knew I had quite a few.
Yeah, so Dane ends up with 24 points. We got the coaches together right after the game, and they said Dane. And so Dane, what did you feel? What were you feeling when you heard your name called out for MVP?
I don't know. I was kind of shocked, and it kind of still I'm shocked a little bit that happened, but it was really cool, like walking up, going to shake your hand, getting the pictures. I don't know. It just felt really special to have been able to do that and show what I can do.
Well, I know that your school is very proud of you guys. I mean, I knew I had people from Portland messaging me like, we want to share, Dane's accomplishment and everything. So everyone's very proud. Did you guys know that there was going to be people watching back home? Like, was that something that people were talking about? Like, oh, we're going to be watching?
Yeah, I at least had a few like family members that couldn't make it down. They were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna watch," or like, "How do I watch?" And so I knew a few of them.
Yeah. So after the game, we had a boys dunk contest. I think if we were to do it over again, we would do it before the game, just because I didn't. I mean, it's an all-star game, so I didn't anticipate you guys playing as hard as you did, and so the legs might have been a little tired. But we thought we talked about it ahead of time. We were like, they'll be warm. Each player's only going to play maybe 20 minutes, just because we're sharing playing time. So like they're only going to play 20 minutes in this All-Star game. Like they should be fine. But I think the legs were a little tired, and so. But anyway, we had a good dunk contest for doing it after the game, and then that was it. What were you guys? How are you guys feeling? Just at the end of this whole thing, I don't know what time you guys went to sleep on Saturday night, but I don't think I went to sleep until about like 2:30 a.m. I was just, of course, just thinking about all the things that I just witnessed. To me, it was kind of surreal.
Yeah, it was so surreal to me as well, thinking about it. I didn't go to bed till about 9:30 the next morning because I had a flight that left at like 5, and by the time I got back to my hotel, it was like 2:30, and then we would leave at 3. So like, why would you go to bed for 30 minutes?
Oh,
So, but it was amazing though. Like thinking about that, it was so worth it. So flying out, going out there and meeting everybody, and it was just, I was so happy after that. It was so fun.
I thought I had a rough night because I got back, went to bed for a few hours, and then I had to start doing airport runs like at 5:45, 6, and so I didn't get a lot of sleep that night, but you got even less. So, Dane, what was your overall just feeling at the end of that?
Oh, well, I got to sleep late as well. I got to bed at like 2:30 as well. But then that next day, it kind of was weird. It didn't really feel like it was over for some reason, but it was like, oh, wait, we finished. So it was very also surreal, like this did just happen, and it was a lot of fun, and I just really enjoyed it.
Well, it really makes me happy to hear that. I do think that people kind of, and you guys were all getting along so well, and there was no disciplinary issues of any kind. I mean, everybody just had a really good attitude, and I think there was a sense from everyone like, we just want to keep hanging out and playing basketball. Like, what else? What better thing could you could you do than do this thing a little bit longer? As an organizer, you always want to leave people wanting a little more, right? But I think that for a first event, it was success, and you guys made it a success from your contributions, your great attitude, your hard work, and I'm curious. A couple of final questions here as we wrap it up. Addy, what are some things that you learned throughout this weekend that you are going to try to take back with you to Mile High Academy and to your team?
I learned team camaraderie and being able to execute drills with intention. I think that's something that I definitely learned about. The coaches really emphasize intention in your drills and, making sure every rep counts, especially the Advent sports guy. Like he talked a lot about that. And that was really, I don't know, something I'm going to try to incorporate into my team and, team camaraderie, building everybody up. So yeah, that's definitely a takeaway I took.
As I mentioned at the beginning, Dane just graduated from Portland Adventist Academy, so he's not taking anything back to Portland unless maybe he's, helping out from time to time as an alumnus now. But Dane, you came into this weekend as planning to play collegiate golf at Walla Walla University and not necessarily planning to play basketball. And I haven't talked to you about this, so I don't want to put you on the spot, but I think someone told me that that being in this environment had sort of maybe made you think about that a little bit more.
It definitely has. Like, at least for me, my basketball season at PA didn't really end exactly the way I wanted. So I didn't really leave basketball from high school in a great way that I wanted to. So it kind of has also changed my like perspective on college basketball too, and how much higher of a level it is and how much fun it could be if I do play. So I definitely am thinking about playing a lot more now after this event.
Well, even if you didn't, I think you went out on a good note for your your basketball career, winning MVP of the first ever Seventh-day Adventist National All-Star Game. But question for both of you guys as we finish here. We mentioned it, that I kind of gave us a little bit of context for the history of Adventist basketball on Thursday. And for you guys as Seventh-day Adventists first, and then also as basketball players, what significance did this weekend have for you as you think about like the denomination that we're a part of, and athletics, the support for you as a basketball player and your God-given gifts? Anything that sticks out to you that you're going to take with you on a maybe deeper level as far as your identity as an Adventist?
At least I've kind of, I guess, grown up hearing all the stories about how like, oh, Adventists don't do this and Adventists don't play and stuff. And just being able to play and then to be able to be a part of this All-American event really has like made me think about how lucky I am to be where I am with all the sports that's happened and everything that's happened in my past. And I'm just very thankful for everybody who supported us and who started all the sports programs and got us into the leagues. I'm just very thankful for all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think for me, recognizing the support system that we have, especially since this weekend and everything like that, all the coaches, you putting this all together, it's just recognizing the support that we have, because we could go anywhere and we could play sports, we could play for a club, we could do this or that, but having the support with the Christian community, Seventh-day Adventist community around you is really, really cool, and being able to know that we're supported in Christianity ways as well. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Addy, what did your Grandpa Dodds say about this whole thing? Former athletic director at Union College back in the day.
He thought it was so amazing. He would not stop texting me about how was this, how was that. I'm so happy for you. Watch the game. He was commentating about some of the game. It was like this happened, this happened. He was so into it. So that's for sure.
Awesome. Well, hey, Dane, thank you so much. Addy, thank you so much. It was really great to, Addy, I'd met you before, so it was good to see you again. And Dane, it was great to meet you and be around you for that weekend. And congratulations on a great showing, both of you. And Dane, best of luck here. Obviously, we're going to be looking forward to following your path here and see what happens this year at Walla Walla University. And Addy, we'll continue watching your progress here in your junior year for the Mile High Academy Mustangs. So thank you guys so much, and I hope we can do it again sometime.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.